What's up, guys? This is John from Heavy Set Tactical. Today I'm using my baco because I wanted to make a better kind of like a mallet for batoning. So I'm making a baton here in order to do a small test video. I feel like people don't talk online enough about Cold Steel's San Mai steel. So today, this is the SRK in San Mai. I have it in 3V and SK5 too. But this is a brand new factory edge. I strapped it a little bit to kind of sharpen it up. This is a factory edge SRK in San Mai steel. And today we're going to be talking about the edge retention. So I really wanted to get a Trailmaster Bowie from Cold Steel, and make a long story short, I could not find any edge retention tests of the San Mai, like a straight edge retention. I have some paper, I have some wood, so I'm going to use this SRK to make my mallet along with my baco saw. Then we're going to do some batoning, like right on the side this way instead of this way, so we can determine, you know, if it damages the edge really quickly. Now the point, I know the point is very timid because it's very pointy and sharp, and it's a sharpened swedge on the back. So I'm gonna keep it about edge retention, not the point, but just the edge, because I really want to know. Because I wanted to get a Trailmaster in 3V, but they're hard to find. The only ones I could find on Blade HQ were the San Mai 3 ones. I don't want that, I want 3V. So I'm waiting, but yeah. So I wanted to use this initially to make the mallet to do the test with as well. So I took my baco saw and I sawed out about a 1/2 inch around this whole circumference of this log here. I guess I don't really need the stool. I wanted to use the stool so I could kind of, you know, have it elevated and show you guys what I was doing. But essentially I'm going to use it to chip out the sides that I scored out. Shit. Sorry guys, that was the wrong way. It's okay, I'll flatten out one side of that mallet face. Wrong end. Okay. I mean, it cuts. Seems to cut really well. Yeah, it batons great. It's a great batoner, just like the SK5 all black one. This seems to have a really good profile on it for batoning. I'm pretty impressed. Alright, so now we got our handle profile dug out a little bit. I'm gonna, yeah, let me see how it feather sticks a little bit. Ooh, guys, I might not mind the San Mai. Yeah, you can't really use the tip like you would on a big bellied bushcraft knife. But it cuts really well. It does. I'll give it to him. It cuts really well. So now I'm gonna come around this top here and try to circle off a little bit of these corner points sticking up, so I can eliminate as much handwork as I can. I'm telling you guys, this San Mai SRK really cuts great. It does. I'll give it to him. Definitely does. And I'm excited, guys. I got a couple knives coming in the mail this week. And I'm mailing out the Knife Winners knives today. which is exciting. It was my first 3-knife giveaway. So thank you guys for subscribing and commenting. Okay, guys. I should have done a paper cut first. It's getting there. I think I want to take a little off this edge yet here. And I have a cool short for you guys today. I'm driving down to Gettysburg to spend the night at my buddy's because we're hiking the Appalachian Trail tomorrow. And I'm going to stop at Gettysburg Trading Post, which is a monumental knife store. And we're going to check out some of the stuff they have. And I'll probably make a purchase. You guys know me. So, I'm going to come in, take some of these angles off a little bit here. Again, the cutting profile isn't that good, and I wish I would have done a before and after paper cut test. So I have some paper here. I don't have a cameraman today, so forgive the intrusion. So this is the factory edge. I just dried it off with my shirt a little bit. Cut's good. Again, I stropped it a little bit, but cut's good, guys. So, factory edge is pretty good. And I'm going to, now, I'm gonna take this knife. Oh, I forgot about that sharpened swedge, guys. Be careful. From here to here is sharp on that back swedge. Now, the only reason I'm cutting towards myself is I got this big 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch stopper here. Still, I'll be careful. Now, I'd much prefer a nice saber grind. This is a hollow grind on the San Mai SRKs. So it's a little more of a tactical self-defense kind of knife, but I wanted to do an edge retention test of the San Mai. I can't wait to get that 3V Trailmaster Bowie. Tell you what, guys, it's cutting really nicely. It doesn't dig in like my bushcrafter knives do very well. All right. Now, that's pretty good for a mallet. I'll take it, right? So, now we're gonna do some really hard hitting right on the edge here. This is very hard wood. This stuff is hard. You can hear it in it. Now, I'm going to do some pretty hard hits right on the edge here. Damn. This thing really digs in nicely though with that hollow grind. I mean, you ready for this now? This is hard wood. Let's see how this goes, huh? Now that sharpened swedge is gonna bang up your baton really bad. guys, I'll give it to them. All right, I'm sometimes I can be a steel snob too, and that's what this video is all about. Is, you know, sometimes just because it's a more budget steel does not mean that it's crap. It just doesn't. SK5, in my opinion, can be a bad steel, but depends on the knife, depends on the heat treat, and depends on the geometry of the blade, because you can get really good results. Now, it doesn't cut it very well. It doesn't glide through it, but so I am using a lot of pressure, which makes it harder to do a feather stick. So let's get a piece of paper. And let me just make sure. Okay, camera battery's okay. Let's get a piece of paper and let's see where she's at. I just want to see if I used this if this is one of those knives where I use it for one day of tasks and it already is going to need sharpening eventually, or stropping at least majorly. I'm telling you, I'm impressed. Guys, John Sharetta is impressed at the San Mai. It's not bad. Again, I'm going real hard into this hard oak here, straight on that first 2 inches here, straight down. We'll do another. Sorry the loud noise of this. I just want you guys to be able to see it, that's all. So now I'm kind of going down and abusing all the parts of this edge here, guys. Not just the rear 2 inches or the front 2 inches, kind of all over, because I want to see. I want to see how this edge turns out. Because, like I said, I could be a steel snob, and you know, I say that in the least douchiest term that I could find, because to be honest with you guys, I have a big problem these days with knives. Have been a part of my life forever. Always had a fascination with metal. I was a blacksmith for quite some time, doing horseshoes, shoeing horses as a farrier, apprentice anyway, for a long time. And you know, I end up, knives are always been a part of my journey. Now I'm making some, which I have some really great tutorials I want to put out there, and some cool 1095 basic knives I'm making. So I end up, you know, I prefer my 3V, my M390, my L-Max. I got the TRC and L-Max. Wait till you see the edge retention video on that thing, because it's ridiculous. It's very good. But in doing so, a lot of people can, this is not really a chopper, it's light, but it chops pretty good. So in doing so, you know, it's really easy to discredit steels because you don't use them enough. And I hear a lot of guys, you know, that are in some tech lab that are talking about knife steels and doing tests and telling you what's in them and all that. But until you get out in the field, you know, I'm a trial by fire guy. Until you get out in the field and start using some of these knives to actually cut, carve, whittle, you know, make fire sticks, make feather sticks, make fires with your knives, scrape fire steels, you know. This doesn't have that sharp of a spine. I'm sure it would strike a fire steel. It's that sharp, but it's not a very good cutting sharp. But until you get out in the field and use the steels, it's hard to cast judgments on whether or not they're going to hold up. And it all depends on what you use them for. So I found myself, this is the only San Mai knife that I have, and I found myself really casting some judgment because I wanted that CPM 3V version of the Trailmaster Bowie. And, you know, until you get out and use it, who the hell could really tell you what, you know, what it's worth? I'll tell you what, guys, that tip's not as weak as I thought, as thin as I thought, and it is a hell of a piercer. I'm telling you guys, you know, I wish it was more of a flat grind on here, but it's a hollow grind, so it's got that beveled out edge on either side. But the cutting profile is pretty good. I'll give it to Cold Steel, man. They really, and it's still nice and slicey. So like I said, guys, until you get out and experience these steels and use these steels, you're never going to be able to give an accurate estimate of whether it's not going to hold up for what you or I am using it for. So, you know, sometimes I get really hung up on being a prejudiced against steels. You know what I'm trying to say. Yeah, it's a nice little knife. And I think it's more of intended as a tactical knife by the cut, you know, as opposed to the SK5. The SK5 has a straight cut on either side instead of, you know, a flat grind instead of a beveled out or a sharpened swedge like this one does for that penetrative power. And then, I mean, the tip's definitely weak. I can see how thin it is, so I know, having worked with a lot of steels, I know what it's kind of capable of and not capable of. This is not a prying tool, you know, to stab in and pry. It'd probably snap right off, or bend really good at least. But I didn't want to chop out pieces of this video. I wanted to shoot it as one continuous video, because a lot of times when I make a video and you guys only see like 20% of what I'm actually using the knife for, it's kind of a cut together video of my whole experience with the knife. So this I wanted to do some big truck. Essentially I wanted to do a continuous video of me just abusing the blade a little bit. And this isn't abuse, but you know what I mean. You know, my knife guys know what I mean. Using it real harshly right on that edge. So we've done a decent amount of slicing, decent amount of little feather sticks, and a decent amount of batoning straight onto that face. Oh, it's getting a little harder to do a fine stick on there. I mean, it still comes out. You guys can still see the curls coming out. So I'm going to give it a general wipe down. And we're going to test the edge retention again. Man, it's hot out in Pennsylvania today. So we're going to give it a good wipe. Let it dry for a second. Ooh. I'm telling you, and guys, this is printer paper, so it's pretty thick, it's pretty easy to cut. It's a little damp. Let me get a fresh one from behind me here. But you catch my drift. I took that micro bevel, that real sharp micro bevel off, I think, in doing so, but it still cuts just fine. It's really windy out now, so it cuts still pretty good. Actually, no, it's not. It's really not, but that bottom edge isn't. Look. That's what I thought. It's the paper being damp. Alright, let me fold it in half and just do it. It still slices, guys. It's not as bad as this paper and my bad edge cutting video is making it out to be. It's still slicing. But I think right where I was using it heavily, so now let me pick the camera up. Right where I was using it heavily, I think you guys will see a little bit of, just a little bit of dulling, but yeah, the edge is fine. I mean, it really is. It's not, let me try to get this to focus. It's not all banged up and screwed up. There's no folds or glints. Let me put it against my boat here. See what I mean? There's no folds. There's no snap outs. Nothing like that. So the SRK in San Mai is pretty good. Man, I knew that was going to be a sticker. This thing is a hell of a sticker. Pig sticker. But yeah, you guys can see that edge isn't in bad shape. Now, I'm going to pause the video for just a second, guys, and I'm going to take this into the barn so I can get out of the wind and do a couple cutting things with it. I'll show you. Alright guys, so I'm in the shop. Please excuse my slight mess. Okay, let me adjust my camera there just a little bit. Alright, I'm in the shop now, and I have some paper, some dry paper. I just want to show you my end result of the edge retention. It still cuts well, but I can feel its resistance a lot more. And down here, down at that bottom, and that could be some grime on there. Now, again, if I stropped it, it'd come up great. It's still cutting, guys. So I hope that kind of gave you guys a little insight. My hands are sweaty, so I keep making the paper wet. I hope this gives you guys a little bit of insight into the functionality of some of these knife steels that you might find a little less desirable. But I'm telling you, for what? Yeah, see, it's that micro bevel's gone, but it's still pretty sharp. It's fine, really. It's just my inability to cut it very well right now, more than anything. So guys, what I really wanted to say today was I appreciate everybody's respect on the comment sections and the love that I get from you guys on my videos. You know, I'm moving a bunch of stuff around in here today, so it's a mess, but getting ready to leave for Gettysburg to do a cool video, shoot a cool video at one of my favorite knife stores. Yes, there are still stores that have knives. You just got to find them. But yeah, the SRK in San Mai is actually not bad, and I've really been appreciating it just in the hour that I've used it now. This is the first time that I got it out of the drawer to do a little bit of test with it, because I wanted to, you know, I wanted to show you guys that, like I said, some of the little, slightly less, more desirable steels are, oh, just cut myself, are still very functional and very usable. So, you know, don't knock it till you try it, kind of thing. So, you know, what I did is about 10% of a day's worth of use. So trust me, I know that it's probably going to get it's probably gonna need stropped pretty recently, and probably gonna need resharpened a lot more recent than some of my 3V knives, of course. But it's very usable. It's a very usable tool. It's not, you know, it's not junk just because it's not 3V or M390 or LMAX or MagnaCut. But I will tell you, the MagnaCut knives that I have for bushcrafting and the survival knives I have in LMAX and MagnaCut are quickly becoming some of my favorite steels. And we'll probably do a steel video one of these days. But yeah, this is the SRK in San Mai. And to be honest with you, it exceeded my expectations, and it's a very usable knife. You're just going to have to make sure that you know how to maintain it. Very stainless as far as, knife steels go. Maybe we'll do a stainless test on it too, but yeah. Thanks for watching my video, guys. And we're going to have a little bit of merch and some more knife giveaways and just some fun ways you guys can support the channel a little bit if you'd like to. But again, you guys know I don't push for that. That's not why I do this. I do it because it's my hobby. I really have an appreciation for the manufacturers and makers of some of these knives. So, like always, guys, stay safe, have a good week, and stay heavy. Thanks. So, guys, what I wanted to show you, now that I'm inside, is I cleaned this knife up with some Dawn, a little bit of Dawn, and either a wet, saturated paper towel like this or a cloth. Some sponges can scratch, that have hard plastic in them or metal in them, can scratch your satin finish. So I usually use a cloth based thing or even a saturated paper towel. But after I cleaned it, you can see the knife, you can see the satin finish isn't banged up, the edge isn't banged up. There's a little bit of wood stuck on that sharpened swedge there, but that's it. But yeah, it comes right back to life, and I haven't stropped it yet, but I'm sure as soon as I strop it, it'll be significantly better. And this is after my test. So it's definitely still very usably sharp. As soon as it gets down to this belly, it wants to kick out because that tip is kind of, the grind on this tip is kind of funny a little bit from here to here. That's all you're seeing. It's not a stoppage because there's a roll or anything. Definitely usable. It's definitely still sharp. And that was after that test video of me hammering on it and batoning a little with it and carving a little with it. So the San Mai has really actually impressed me and held up pretty well. So like always, guys, I just wanted to say thanks and show you the end result. And, like always, stay safe and stay heavy. And trust me, guys, it's not a bad carry either. I know I didn't do a full tabletop review of it. I did earlier and with other cold steels, but the Crayex sheath is not bad. I know they talk about this glass filled nylon, but it's a comfortable carry. It's a very light knife, and yeah, it seems to work out for me pretty well. So just wanted to add my 2 cents in there. Have a good day, guys. All right, be safe.